What up? It's Lionel, aka Cadaverific. It's December 17th, mid-afternoon. How is everyone? Hope you guys, if you are listening, everybody's doing well, having a good day. Myself, not too bad. Had a couple of rough weeks, which I'll talk about if anybody's interested. But right now, I want to talk about some stuff that's going on in the world of anime, gaming, our mutual interests, because I'm assuming if you're watching or if you're listening to this, you either A, are interested in the titles that I put down, or B, you're just doing me a favor because I'm trying to do something random here. So let me not disappoint you. So what's the biggest news that's taken place? Well, I'm a gamer, so one of the games that I do play is Dota. And I've had to take some time off Dota because of my thesis writing, so I haven't actually played in quite a while, but I have been keeping up with certain competitions that have been happening. Frankfurt Major, for example. My favorite player, Notel, finally getting himself a lovely win with Team OG. Absolutely beautiful. Got a good-looking girlfriend, that Johan. Big Daddy. And finally, after such a long wait, we've gotten 6.86, the new patch. And they say that this is the balance of power patch, but I don't think they know what balance means. Because a balance means that somebody who was very, very weak is now going to become very, very strong. And to balance that, you're going to take somebody very, very strong and you're going to flatten them down. And what Valve have decided to do is, with just like Half-Life 3 and just tease us, Valve and IceFrog have decided to only do one of these two hands. So I think they started out with they wanted it to be a balance, but I haven't seen. From looking through, there have been some changes, and it's going to be so much fun. But from what I've seen, there's not too much like crazy. With regards to making people OP. Like, there's nobody that I looked at and I was like, oh, that's just going to be ridiculous now. Sniper didn't get his ridiculousness back. You're maybe going to buy the new item Dragonlance on him, which I'll explain what that does in a bit, but it's not going to be. It's a stupid item. Don't buy it. Because they moved the mid towers back. Like, they did everything. They changed the map. They added a new ruin to lower cooldowns and mana cost, and everybody's like, oh well, we League of Legends now, and it's like they're a huge database MOBA as well, and they have some. I mean, I've played League for a time, and it was quite fun. I didn't leave Dota for League. I decided to not hate without knowing what I was going into, and now I have an appreciation for it, but I'm not a League player. But there are certain things in League that attract people that don't attract people to Dota, and you have to find out what those things is. And by IceFrog trying to take what's going on somewhere else and bring it in, I mean, we're actually kind of the only MOBA that doesn't do increases in. Well, let me first say the new 8th ruin, the Aether ruin, lowers cooldowns by a bit and lowers the mana cost of some of your spells. There's no real skills that lower the mana cost of things in game. I think the cooldown reductions have changed. Yeah, they also had a new item, Aether's Lens, that increases your cast range. It also increases your spell damage by 8%, and that's really good. And we're the only ones that don't do that. Like, we don't. But Smite does that. LoL does that. Hun has items that do that. Other either terrible MOBAs, they do that too. We're the only ones. And when you're trying to shake up the meta as much as you are, maybe taking something like that and adapting it in, because taking something like that and adapting it in is the right way to go. It's the right way to kind of shift the game on its head, because you don't want it to be stale. And League of Legends releases heroes way more frequently than we do. Although we got a hero, we got what's his name, Arc Warden, Lost Hero, to be added before I left Dota 1 for Dota 2. So that was great. He's not too overpowered. I mean, it takes. This is what I was thinking earlier. He's going to have He's going to have a high playability, right? But he's also going to have a low win rate because there are people who have never seen him before who left Dota 1 for Dota 2 before Arc Warden came in, Zet, and they're going to fail. And if you want a beginner's guide to Zed, I can give it to you right now. If you can play Meepo, and you can play Meepo good, and I'm not talking about the crowding up 5 Meepo net poof and hope you take them down, but always keeping the Meepos together. If that's your Meepo, stay away. If you can separate Meepos into jungle, if you can mid Meepo, if you can blink dagger Meepo, if you can consciously keep an eye out on your micros, boom, okay, there's 50% of your job done. 2, if you can play Lone Druid, if you can effectively play Lone Druid with that bear and the double Midas and everything that comes from playing Lone Druid, boom, there's the other 50% playing Arc Warden. My question is, if you can do those, why would you play Arc Warden? Because when it comes to a game, like when it comes to the meta as it is now, you're not going to choose Arc Warden over Lone Druid. You're not going to choose Arc Warden over Meepo. I mean, if you're in a game where you're thinking, okay, I'm going to choose Arc Warden because I don't have a lot of AoE to deal with myself and my other clones, double Midasing and double Dagoning and blah, blah, blah like that. Okay, well then why would you just not choose Meepo if they haven't got that much AoE to deal with you? If you can Arc Warden that good with micro, just choose Meepo. You'll snowball completely out of control. If they do have AoE and you decide, you want to use it for fast gaining and carry potential, well, frick, Lone Druid does that like on the get-go without sacrificing health. I mean, Arc Warden sacrifices health when he makes the clone. Lone Druid sacrifices health when the bear dies. But, I mean, he's right there from the get-go. You can jungle from the get-go. And with the new item Iron Talons, which allows you to take away 40% of any non-hero unit's health, the jungle just got a bit easier. It got opened up to a lot more people. I mean, it's going to be an easier time for Lone Druid and his bear in the jungle, so why would you choose anything else? I mean, I don't see any possibility where choosing Arc Warden over Meepo and Lone Druid is the best choice. I just don't. I tried to play him because I'm a relatively okay Meepo player. I tried to play him and I just, I got it. I got the appeal, but he just wasn't the hero for me. I mean, I'm an okay Meepo player, but I am trying very hard to learn Lone Druid and a fucking bear. What else? So there was the spell damage increases in Dota, which was nice. A couple of people got hit with, got some new skills. Doom, Ricky, Lone Druid, Death Prophet, and what's the last one? Somebody else got somebody will write in the comments. Somebody else got a new ability, which is good. Ricky has a teamfight ability now. His ult. They took his blink ability away as an ult. That's back to basic ability, which was fine, because if Ricky got you 1-on-1, that jump could just solo you. But he was Ricky, is what he's supposed to do. He got removed from captain's mode. He got his agility hit, he got his armor hit, but he got a new ability called Tricks of the Trade, where he'd make an area like a 650 AoE, and then he would just backstab everybody there for immediately when he cast it, plus for 3, 4, 5 seconds every second. And he would... that carries over item procs. You could crit, you could proc Mjolnir, you could proc armor drop, and he was faded out. He was completely gone. So this was great. This was a tool to make Ricky less of a niche pick hero and more of a good hero. I firmly believe that Ricky. I mean, I'm talking about back in the day where I was playing like gay tricky Ricky, just permanent invisibility and just sniping bitches, and that was back in the days where nobody warded, and Gem and True Sight was a terrible item, like things like that. Back when like the bottle cost 700 and healed you for full, like it was ridiculous days. But now Ricky is turning into somebody that I can seriously see teams picking up and not being completely broken. I'm excited for Oracle, even though he got hit with a little bit of a nerf as well. They hit some balances. They lowered some cooldowns and mana costs, hired some other ones. But Oracle is one of my favorite support heroes. I love playing him. I think he's a high impact hero. I've played him solo safe lane with a roaming jungler in the Radiant side against a double offlane, and I've managed to command even against a solo offlane. Oracle can, with good mana regen and health regen, being able to heal himself and do purge damage, like Oracle can do it, like unless you got a roamer, but Oracle's really, really good at doing it. So I'm very excited for that. Who else? They took away, which I'm glad about this. They took away Death Prophet's third skill passive, which was to add more spirits, lower cooldowns, movement speed, more time in her silence to all of her skills, and they just added those as innate level up abilities to those skills so that they could give her a better a new skill, which was like a Siphon Soul, to steal like 20 health plus at max, I think 4% of a target's max HP per second, and it has charges. So during a team fight, you can put it on 4 people and you can siphon the health back at once. It only lasts about, I think it's 4 to 6 seconds. So it's for burst, but you want to do that maybe towards the end of your spirits dying, just to keep you alive long enough, because when your spirits rush in, then you're going to be alive again, and then you can turn around, which is great, because she was a hero that could, she actually picked up Rod of Atos, because she was fast, but there was nothing to stop you from being fast. But she more benefited from you being slower as opposed to her being faster. I mean, I used to buy Shadowblade on her, turn on spirits, Shadowblade, and then you've got like 8 seconds of walking around invisible with spirits, and you just attack cancelling just to get the spirits to go to somebody else, but nobody could hit you, and that was great. That was great fun. But this opens her up to doing some more interesting stuff. Who else? Let's talk about Huskar. Oh wow, Huskar got hit with a Nerf bat so hard that it's not even Huskar anymore. There is no Nerf bat, right? It got greased up and shoved so far up him from rectum to nostril that now if you swing the Nerf bat, Huskar's corpse hangs on it. Like there is no reason any hero should have been hit this hard, and I'll tell you why. Huskar was a unique hero. He was a hero he sacrificed health to do immense burn damage, like immense damage. He was great at what he did, life break, sacrificing his own health for your health as well. He did scaling ridiculous damage as his health dropped down, and it also increased his magical resistance. This was great. Do you know where Huskar's weakness was? Any other right-click hero. Faces forward, gets him in a chronosphere and bashes. Done. Anti-mage takes away all his mana, can kill him, or anti-mage like hitting him, like breakaway. Like Huskar had shitty armor. Like he wasn't good against other heroes. Like a PA, just fucking jump on him and kill him straight. Like you just hit him down. Ursa destroyed him. Huskar punished teams that did not have a dedicated right-clicker. And you should probably always have somebody whose goal is to just, I'm going to right-click and hopefully proc something. That's what you do. And with the Frankfurt major and the meta the way it was, there were no dedicated right-clickers. I mean, it's like what, Spirit Breaker? Like you're basically looking for a map-wide bash. That's all he was. But everybody's running Ember Spirit with like double Mjolnir. Everybody's running Dusa. I mean, like, yeah, you could. Dusa's a very, very good counter. You put the shield up and you just keep your mana there. Shield absorbs all that damage. Medusa just right clicks, but Medusa's late game, and they were worried. Oh yeah, but Huskar snowballs from level 1. It was like, yeah, I understand that. Put some roamers there, or do some stuns, or proc him up. Like that's just what. Remember, Huskar is like, you take away his mana, he can't use his heal. You lower his health because he's sacrificing himself, and then you just have a roamer come in, like an enchantress roaming from the jungle, slows him down, and just throw stuff at him. Will beat him out of lane. And then you just got to make sure somebody like a Clockwork or somebody with a long range, like just a tiny bit of damage, that when he goes and he uses his salve, and he will use his salve to heal himself, you pop it. You make him use his tangos up, because then Huskar has no way to heal, which means he can't abuse you in lane, which means he's useless. So because the meta had no dedicated right clickers, and everybody complained about the great performance of Huskar in the Frankfurt Major and all the tournaments before, and the tournaments before that. Oh, now they drop him from instead of scaling 7% damage to a linear, which is bullshit. And then if Huskar wants full benefits of all of his skills and abilities, he needs to be at 10% or below. So you're telling me that at late game, level 25, at 3,000 health, Huskar needs to have 300 health to be ridiculous. That's bullshit. Because if anybody is if you're gonna have the team to get him down to that side, you're gonna have the team to finish him off regardless. So Huskar is trash now, like trash. Bloodseeker could also take him down. It's like HP removal. Oh, it's just ridiculous. So yeah, that's my feelings about that. What else? A couple of people got Ags. Vengeful Spirit got a new Ags that when she dies, she leaves a clone that does that right clicks for her, does all her skills, can do her swap, does half damage and all of it. Takes 150% damage. It's nice. It's unique. Bristleback got an Ags to do Snot in a 650 AoE. That is well worth buying, because you don't think it's not no, it's big. That slow stacks, that armor drop is ridiculous. Like if you're doing AoE and you manage to capitalize and just get 2 snots on everybody, like the team will literally sit there and go, shit, yeah, we're slow, this sucks. And Bristleback's just there, and not only is he there doing that, but he's also doing his fucking Cool Spray, which does more damage now. It has a more 50 damage higher cap. I mean, it's good. It's really, really good. I do think that in a team fight oriented game, picking up Bristleback and getting Ags, it gives him decent health as well. Getting the Ags as a late game item after all of your tanky items that you want. I mean, you don't have to get Octarine. It's a joke item. Like, his cooldowns are already high enough. I know you want Octarine because of the spell lifesteal, and in that sense, it's great. But I would argue getting what would I replace it with? I don't know. There's some items that you're gonna buy as a joke. Don't just buy the axe instead. Couple else. Drow Ranger got the ability to split arrows that carries all of her items. So it procs with crit, it procs with armor, it procs with Mjolnir, it procs with Scotty, it procs with Orb of Venom, other poisons. I mean, it's cool. That's a cool skill. With high enough attack damage, you're gonna feel that. Shadow Fiend got one that his Requiem souls would come back in. They're good. It's a new game. So that's my Dota talk just for this first 20 minutes. Overall, I like the patch. I think it's interesting. I don't think that Huskar deserved to be that nerfed. Otherwise, the game is fun. I'm looking forward to playing it in the coming weeks and months. So let's move on to something else. Anime. I'm a big anime watcher. I've died down in the last couple of years, but I used to be a big anime watcher. I was a big watcher of Naruto during the exams, the Chunin exams, and years after that. Favorite character, Shikamaru, genius by birth, lazy by choice. I recently, during some downtime between thesis writing, managed to catch up on Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, which was really, really exciting, because Full Metal Alchemist is just... it's just absolutely fantastic. It's emotional, but it's absolutely amazing. I love it to bits. So I managed to catch up on that. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, the closest one to the manga. Managed to get that. Bleach, one of my favorite animes. Finished that. Cut out all the filler. There's shitty filler. I cut it out, but Bleach is amazing. Managed to... what else? What else have I been watching lately? Cowboy Bebop. Have that on my phone. Keeping that in line. Watching that whenever I'm in line at the bank. Cowboy Bebop, the original Space Cowboys. Maybe an inspiration for Firefly. I think it is, or vice versa. But Cowboy Bebop, great. But what I want to talk about, and of course, Dragon Ball Z, Western anime, that's all there as well. Western anime, Avatar Lost Airbender, Avatar Legend of Korra, big up Korrasami, predicted that as well. Great ending. But what I want to talk about is not so much an anime as an anti-anime. And if you've read the description, you know what I'm talking about. And that is One Punch Man. Oh my god. One Punch Man is possibly the funniest anti-anime I've ever watched in my entire life. And what do I mean by anti-anime? What I mean is when you get anime like Dragon Ball Z or Bleach or Full Metal Alchemist, the general shonen anime, you're gonna get a hero who has a, they follow the Bruce Lee thing. There are no limits, there are only plateaus, and if you train hard enough, you will overcome them, which is great. But it's great. It works as inspiration. It works for the little kids. It teaches you life lessons and stuff. And the characters have a good way of talking about it as well. But they use it as motivation. But what this does is, at a certain point, you start feeling that it's ridiculous. I mean, take Dragon Ball Z, for instance. You train hard enough, you can defeat Vegeta, and then you include the Saiyan power levels, and the Saiyans getting stronger after every battle, and then you defeat Frieza, the big bad. Then they design robots that are even stronger. And then another robot comes from there, the androids and Cell, that are even stronger than that. And then you train for that. And then what? You've got Majin Buu. And then now they brought it back with GT didn't exist, so we're forgetting about that. But then you have like Dragon Ball Super now with the Super Saiyan God, and then you have Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan. Like, at some point you're like, so at what point are you just going to leave the universe and start playing marbles with the multiverse? Like, that's the point of power. Bleach as well. I got my Shikai, then I got my Bankai, then I got my Bankai times 2, and then I get my spirit, and then it become a Hollow as well. Oh no, but you can become a Shinigami and a Hollow cross Arankar, and then from that, then you're like, no, I've lost all my powers. But then you find out, oh no, you're also a special type of human that's able to pull all this crap out of you, a Fullbringer. Like I get it. Like, I really, really get it, but it just, at a certain point, it just gets to be a bit too much, It's not the greatest thing. Like, you need to have this thing. The plateau thing gets tiring after a while, which is why I say it's shonen style. Even in Full Metal Alchemist, it is as well. It's, we do this, we learn, we get better arms, we get better legs, we get better at what we're doing, we get faster, we learn. Full Metal Alchemist handled it a lot better than the rest of them, though. But One Punch Man is anti-anime. It's anti-shonen in the sense of, what would happen if a hero who all he wanted to do was train to fight bad guys, and his conviction was so strong that he trained over what he was planning? I mean, he doesn't just, he wanted to battle. He wanted to have that thrill of being in a battle and saving somebody. And he trained too hard and is too strong now. So now he accomplished his goal. He fights monsters, he saves people, but he's bored because One Punch Man, as his name would imply, kills everything with one punch. Nothing can survive one punch from him. Even in the first episode, they basically take a Titan from Attack on Titan, and he kills it with one punch. I mean, it's just a man who trained hard, had so much power, and I personally love it. I find everything about it to be everything that I've ever loved about anime. But the art style for Saitama, the main character, is drawn very simplistically and very, very accurately to the manga. And then there are times, he just looks simplistic in his daily life, but there are times when he dares to get serious, where his anime drawing just goes full on pro, like you would expect from anybody else in the series. He has a best friend who's an android or a cyborg, one of the two, human that was made robot, so android. And he gets the best animated fight scenes, the best everything. So I like to think of it as it's an anime about Genos and his carry-on, but from Saitama's perspective. And with that in mind, it makes sense that Saitama has the better fight scenes and the better animated scenes, because you have to pour it in there, because you can't really animate a Saitama fight scene because nothing happens. And the comedy is just fantastic. There's a scene where, spoiler alert, there's a scene where an asteroid is coming to smash City Z, and they call all the S fighters, the S ranked fighters, but Saitama is with Genos, and Saitama's only ranked B or C at that time. And he says, "Master, would you like to join us?" And very seriously, he puts his face, like they draw it serious, and he goes, "Yes, because I have nothing else to do." and it's just it's so good. Like, and there's only 12 episodes. That's all there's going to be, 12 episodes and 2 OVAs. And the last episode is airing this Sunday. I highly suggest everybody just catch up and watch it. It's unbelievably good, and it's not long, which is great. So that's my anime recommendation. There are others that I like that I'll talk about maybe in another video another time, but that's my anime recommendation. Just One Punch Man is just amazing. What else? You know what? Let's talk about relationships. Breakups. Relationships are tough. They really are. It goes up and down. I suppose, everybody goes through things in different ways. Everybody has their ways of dealing with things. Everybody has their way of getting over somebody that they cared about, somebody that they dared to love. Everybody has these ways that they need. Some of them are drugs and alcohol. Some of them are less notable means. We lash out. But we do these things, and men and women handle these very differently. So I have this theory that when women break up with men, there are 3 stages to a breakup, and when the 3 stages are denial, anger, and acceptance. And when a woman breaks up with a man, she's sad. She's in denial stage. She's sad. She's unhappy. She cries with her friends. Then she's angry. She's angry at him for how could he do this to her? How could he use her? How could he abuse her and then leave her? And then finally she moves on to acceptance. She gets through it. She goes on. She carries on with her life, and everything's fine. Men go through that too. But men go through it backwards. So when men have breakups, they try and act like it doesn't bother them. They try and say, no, it's fine. I'm okay. I'm over this. And then they go through the anger stage. They get angry at everything, but then they hit the denial. When they see that the woman has moved on and they really haven't, then they're in denial. And that's why couples usually only get back together when they're both angry at each other, because anger equals passion. So if you're still angry at somebody, you're not over them. You're over them. If you still think about them and you still have things you want to say to them, you have things that want to be put back on level ground with them. You feel like, oh no, they won the relationship, and you need to say some things in order to get back and get on equal footing. You're not over them. You're not over that person. You're over that person when that person says something to let you know that, or does something to let you know that they're happier than you, and you couldn't care less. That's when you know that you've moved on, that somebody else, because the world is full of people that are happier than you, and the world is full of people that are unhappier than you, and somebody's looking at you going, he's or she is happier than I am, forgetting that that person that they're looking at is probably also looking at somebody else going, they're happier than I am. You know what? The grass isn't always greener on the other side. It's not. Do you know where the grass is greener? It's right at home, where you are. And to remember that for relationships, you have to know that the grass is like, it's happiness. It's your happiness cannot be found somewhere out there, right? Your happiness has to come. I know I'm going like very fucking Deepak Chopra here, but you need to find happiness inside yourself. You need to be able to go, no matter where I go, I can be happy because I'm happy on the inside. And to have that happiness in someone else is a problem, because that person, it's dangerous for 2 reasons. One, that person can leave, that person can die, and then they take that happiness with them and you're left a shell. And 2, it's okay for 2 people to put their happiness in each other, but that eventually ends, and then you get like heartache and stuff when you're 80, and it's very cute, but it's still dangerous. And my problem, and what I have as a personal problem, is I like relationships. I love being in love. When I see somebody that intrigues me, and I see somebody that has a personality that I like, and similar likes and dislikes, I love it. I love it, and I can't wait to be in that with them, to be, to share my likes, my concerns, my fandoms, my interests, to throw that into somebody, and hopefully they throw it back to you. And it's difficult when you do that, because how do you put this? They always say, like, oh yeah, there's plenty of other fish in the sea, or but you can fall in love with somebody completely, 100% completely, and they don't fall in love the same way. It's a slow process for other people, and if you fall in love with somebody completely and just give yourself to somebody, and you can still date for a long time, and then they leave, it's difficult for a person to put themselves back together when there's a piece of them missing. But it's weird, because a piece of them is missing, and it's shaped like the person that left them. And it even sucks more when you find that person is moving on with somebody else. And that's not to say that they never cared about you. It's just to say that they have a different process, or they didn't fall in love all at once because they've been hurt before. Maybe they did in the past and they've been hurt before, and that's how they guard themselves. So, relationships suck. But the thing is, they also define who you are. So every girlfriend and boyfriend and everything that you had in the past, they shape you to be who you are. So it's like boot camp of life. You haven't done push-ups, you go to the army, they make you do push-ups, they make you do sit-ups, they make you climb the wall, and they make you train hard, up at 4, bed at 6 or something like that. Midnight drills. They do this to train you to be the person that you need to be in life. If you got to go out and fight the war, you got to go out and do this and that, you've got to go do it. And your ex-boyfriends and your ex-girlfriends, some of them are good and some of them are bad, but all of those relationships were supposed to happen, because all of those relationships are gearing you up for the person that you're supposed to be with at the end of the day. So this is why I find it strange that people don't talk about it. They don't talk about the ones that hurt them, but they talk about the one they're with, and they talk about how good they are, and the woman will look over and say, "Oh, he's so good. He irons his own clothes, and he always does the dishes, and sometimes he brings me breakfast in bed, and it's really sweet, and he's the greatest guy." No, he's not. He wasn't born like that from the beginning. Do you know where that happened? There are 3, 4, 5 other women, maybe even dudes, if he's so inclined, that railed that into him. Every single relationship. First relationship he was in, he's probably a dirty motherfucker. And then somebody said, "You need to clean up your shit, or I'm not dating you anymore, and you're not getting any sex." Then he cleaned up, and that was enough to get sex from whatever person that was at the time. And then they broke up for some bullshit. Next relationship, he carries that "I need to clean up for somebody else" with. And then he does that, and she's okay with that, and she's happy with it. But then she tells him, "Why do you never bring me breakfast in bed?" So he goes, "Oh shit, she's right. So I bring her breakfast in bed every so often as a surprise, but I also clean my shit." And that's what you do. You take these good qualities that somebody else in your relationship teaches you, and you add them to yourself. You have to be careful not to take the bad ones that they teach you, because sometimes you learn something for somebody specifically. Like if she says, "Make me breakfast in bed every so often to let me know that you care," that's good. You can carry that through life. If she says, "I like my socks rolled up as opposed to put inside a tube," don't go doing that for other people. That's a specific thing for her, and you're going to go do that, and somebody's going to go, "Oh my god, my mom says that rolling up your socks instead of a tube is a sign of a psychopath," and then you never know, you're on a watch list because you slapped some stupid chick. But you got to take the good qualities that you take from every single relationship, the ones that help you be the person that you are, and find somebody who wants all of those things from you, and you want all of the things from her as well. And that's when the two jigsaw pizza puzzles, fuck my life. That's when you know that you're with somebody that you want to go with, you want to be with. So that's just my thing of my opinion on them. Breakups, how to get through them, to let you know what, number one, it's not your fault. Shit happens. Maybe you cheated, maybe she cheated, maybe you both cheated, maybe none of you cheated. There are times you can just say, "Guys, let's just call it quits. we're obviously not meant to be together. And you go, you know what, you're right. I knew people who dated for 9 years and they both just said, you know what, I don't think this is, I think, I think we know that this has run its course. And the guy said, yeah, you know what, you're right. But it's shit that happens. We're adults, and sometimes when you're an adult, it's okay to act like a child when you break up with somebody, but just don't do that the whole time. At a certain point, you just got to grow up. So that's my thing on relationships and breakups. I'm currently going through one, or I'm in the the post-breakup depression, stuff like that. I have my own ways of dealing with it. This is one of them. The other one is gin. That helps a lot. I highly recommend some gin. But I think as time goes on, you just get better at it, and so the next thing you know, you'll go to somebody else and they'll be like, oh my God, they'll say, oh my God, you're amazing with, you cook dessert food really well, you're into gymming and being more active, you don't smoke, you're quite funny, you enjoy all my series, you'll watch them with me even if you don't fucking like Gossip Girls, you will watch it with me. I have some still inkling from that in the past. You're good with horses, you're great with animals, things like that. You'll find somebody that just goes through this with you. And you know what? Maybe she'll say like, oh my God, you don't have a driver's license and you're 27. Yeah, but I'm going to get one to get on my back. So that's just my thoughts on that. And now we come to the fourth topic, the good topic. We've talked about gaming, certain gaming, and don't worry, this won't be a totally Dota thing. In the next thing, I will talk about another game. So we talked about gaming, we talked about anime, we talked about some relationships, and now we're going to talk about movies. And we're going to talk about the movie, the one that there's not even any Christmas this year, because you know what I'm talking about. Star Wars Episode VII. Wow. The Force Awakens. Went to go see it last night at the premiere. Wow. What a movie. Was really, really, really good. So there will be no Jar Jar Abrams. No. He's still JJ. And he still deserves our respect. It was so good. It was, not only was it good, it was respectful. It didn't take all the force and the light and the dark side and turn it into some stupid midi-chlorian thing. It took it, it respected it. It may have taken away the extended universe, but you know what, that's okay. You want to do something with it on your own, you don't want to follow because you're taken from that, you've got spoilers, I understand. It was a great movie. I'm gonna try and do at least some spoiler-free things, but there were good nods to the original 4, 5, 6, the original trilogy. Very, very good nods, not only in scenery, not only in placement, like Millennium Falcon, for instance, not only there, but in certain lines, for instance, in the old Star Wars trilogy, in the scene where Luke is dangling off the side, just got his arm cut off, and Darth Vader says, "No, I am your father," and then Luke screams, "No, no!" Darth Vader says, "Search your feelings, you know it to be true," possibly paraphrasing. And in the Force Awakens, there is a line that a character says to another character, where he says, it's true. And it's said, they don't have the search your feelings line, but it's said in such a way that that there's that was the comparison that was supposed to be made. Another one is Leia saying in the saying in the original trilogy that there's still good inside him. She says a line like, he hasn't fallen, there's still good inside him. And in The Force Awakens, she also says there's light inside him, referring to someone in the movie. Not going to spoil it, but it's really, really good. I don't know what else I can say, man. It's such a good movie. It's really, really good. The main two characters, the black guy, Finn, and the girl, what's her name? Frank. She's got a dude's name, but she's amazing as well. Acting can kind of improve. I mean, she was good. Finn was better, but she could improve. Just a little bit. Felt a little stale at times, but overall, she's good. It's funny. The movie is funny, and you know what? They made it funny for character lines without adding. Like, I firmly believe that episode 1 was just not funny, and then they had to add Jar Jar to be some comic relief, and ended up being just the final nail in the crucifix of that movie. But this movie is funny. The line deliveries, everything it's just so good. Like, it's just really, really good. You find yourself laughing at times that you didn't think you'd laugh, and that's something too. Like, even the old Star Wars, people forget, and what is not only a serious movie, it was funny. It was, Han Solo in the trash compactor, saying, everything's fine, we're fine, you're fine, how are you? That whole thing. Like, it's a funny series. People forget that. First, Han Solo was completely comic relief in the original series, and he's still comic relief in Force Awakens as well. It's a very, very good nod. The bad guy, Kylo Ren, good bad guy, very, very good bad guy. Even his normal voice is very, very good. I approve of him as a villain. He's not corny. It's shocking, but not unexpected, and it's handled very well. So yeah, I think that the next movies will do really, really well. I'm hoping they do phenomenally well. So yeah, it was great. It was absolutely great. Crowd applauded. Spoiler of note, because I'm going to talk about this. Luke Skywalker had headline billing for this damn movie. Do you want to know how long he spent on screen in this movie? Because I'll spoil it for you, so if you don't want to know, turn off now. Fucking, 30 seconds. 30 seconds. I shit you not. I want to know how much fucking Mark Hamill got paid to say nothing. And you may say, and I'm telling you, he has no lines in this movie, no lines at all. And you may say, oh no, but he spoke in the trailer. No, he didn't. That was a line taken from episode 6, superimposed over the trailer for Force Awakens, the first trailer. He has no lines in this movie, but he had full billing right there next to what's her name, Carrie-Anne Moss, is that her name, and Harrison Ford, right there. Bullshit. I want to see that guy's bank account. Like Arnie, I think for the first Terminator, so made something like 25 grand. The second Terminator, like 25 grand a word for his full paycheck for that. I want to know how much Mark Hamill made for saying nothing. Nothing. Yeah, but other than that, absolutely amazing movie. So yeah, we've spoken about the latest Dota 2 patch update. We spoke about it briefly, just my personal hatred of some or one or other aspects of it. Spoke about anime, Grade One Punch Man. Spoke about love and breakups, and spoke about Star Wars. So I think that's pretty good. What I would like to do is in the bottom of the YouTube video, I'll put a link for either an email address, or if you want to ask me something via email, or you want to ask me something via maybe ask.fm or whatever that is, or just email me something, a question that you'd like answered, or why do you suck so much? I'll answer that. If you want to ask me about stuff in my country, South Africa, you want to ask me stuff internationally, you want to ask me advice, I can do all that. I can't guarantee it will be funny, just like I can't guarantee that this video will be watched by anyone, but if you'd like to, I'm completely all for that. This is just I hope that as I go on and I keep doing this, it just becomes a much, just something that a couple of people would just log in and say, hey you have a good voice. I like your voice. You sound kind of sexy. I'm a dude, but that's okay. I think you understand. And to that one guy listening who's like, you got a sexy voice, man, it's like, well, thank you. I try. It's about 40% nasal, 50% suave, and 10% little cut up pieces of my tongue due to overeating on sour worms. So you get that formula right, and then you have the same voice too. Okay. So that's my show. Hopefully I'll see you guys, or you guys will hear me at another time. So this is Lionel, aka Cadaverific, signing out.